Hey, Louise, how you doing?
Hi, good, Charles. How are you?
Well, it's
Can
Friday.
you hear me okay?
I can. Yeah, it's Friday
Oh, okay.
afternoon. We're winding down. That's a good thing.
Yep. Week sure did go by fast.
Oh man, did it? There was
Yeah,
so
really fast.
I know.
I don't know what happened to the other 6 days, really.
Yeah, kind of felt like they just kind of disappeared, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. And let's see. Okay, Palm Sunday. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it's not this week. It's
Yeah, it is. Oh, the following week, Palm Sunday.
right. Well, yeah,
Right.
that's this week, coming up, the weekend on Sunday.
It is? I thought
Yeah,
it was the week before Easter. It's the Sunday
it
before
is.
Easter.
It is the Sunday before Easter.
Next Sunday it must be Easter then, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
On
wow.
the 4th
Okay.
of April, yeah.
Boy, things are
Yeah.
faster than I thought.
Yeah, because Passover starts tomorrow. I just got
Oh,
that
wow.
pointed out to me. And so yeah, it's not next Monday, it's the following Monday. I'm not sure, but we may not have a class because of Easter. I don't know whether the county is going to give people a day off because of Easter Sunday or not. So hard to say. But I'll find out. Are you there?
I accidentally touched the mute button. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like,
I'm on my phone, so it's easy to do.
yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, she's there, but she kind of went away.
I was moving around.
Yeah. Oh, God forbid, don't do that. Well, where is everybody? I know we're a minute or two early. So while we got a minute, let me share something with you, okay? I'm gonna share.
Okay.
I got some pictures from my daughter who is out in California right now.
Okay.
And she's taking after me. She's getting surfing lessons.
Oh. Oh, she's cute.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Yeah, I have no idea how I had anything to do with that, but okay.
Okay, I guess she didn't take after you with that part of her, right?
Yeah, but yeah, she's very artistic though. And there she is, up on the surfboard. So
wow.
So yeah, she's out there in California doing her thing.
She's bold and courageous too, right?
Yeah, she's pretty, she's pretty daring. She'll get out there and try new things, But it's great to see her out there in the water. And,
yeah. Wow.
So,
like fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Surfing is like about the best thing on the planet. I mean, really, it is the most fun thing you can do, I think.
Oh wow.
Because you got the water, you got the beach, you got the sun most of the time. In Monterey, it's kind of foggy and cloudy every once in a while, and you got to wear a wetsuit out there because the water is so freaking cold. It's just, yeah, it's it doesn't matter how hot it is outside. The water is really like right around about 42 degrees all year round.
Wow.
So you get in it, and it's like if you're not wearing a wetsuit, you're like a popsicle in like 4 to 5 minutes. You're ready to come out. So
Where in California is she again? I don't know what you said.
she's down in like around Santa Barbara, you know, so she's a little further south of Monterey, which is kind of where I grew up around.
Oh, okay.
So she went down there for a few weeks, and you know, her brother, her only full brother, or well, no, he's only a half brother actually. Anyway, he, I guess he's about 16 or 17. Anyway, he's been for the last year and a half, 2 years. He's been talking to this one girl online out there. She lives out in that area, and finally, you know, he's like, you know, well, I got to go out there and I got to meet her, and you know, nobody would take him, so Ireland basically packed him up and, you know, put him in her car, and they drove out there together. And so, so they've been out there for about 2 weeks. And, you know, since they've been out there, you know, they've been doing the surfing lessons. For those guys just coming in, this is a picture of my daughter. She's down at the beach.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
What a gorgeous girl.
Yeah, she's there. The wetsuit helps, I guess a little.
Yeah, she's got curves in the right places.
Yeah, she does. There she is on the board. You know,
she doesn't take after her dad.
No, she doesn't look like me, thank God. Yeah, but you know, actually, when I was younger, you know, I mean, I didn't have curves like that, no, but I had the long hair. You know, and I spent most of my time on a surfboard. You know, and well, I was a little younger than her. Actually, I was about her brother's age. I was probably about 16, 17. So anyway, but yeah, she's out there. She's having a ball, which is great. So it's always good to see, you know, her out in the world doing stuff. So anyway, I guess how many we got now? How many of this? There's 7 of us. All right, well, we're going to get rocking and rolling here. We're going to start talking about some drawings and stuff like that. You know, try to get a sense of who's here. So maybe we can start. Betty, Jacqueline's here. Okay, so all right. So I'll skip around a little bit. Okay, let's start picking on Bob. Okay.
Boy, am I lucky, huh?
Oh yeah, you're close to the top of the list. You're there, you know. So, yeah. Hey, look, you know, at least we're not going to be picking on you for a long time, you know, because we got a lot,
that's good.
lot to cover. So anyhow, this is a drawing that Bob turned in, and Bob, what can you tell us about this?
Well, I haven't done anything to it in a few days. But basically, what I was looking for is somebody, an eye with tears. Why, I don't know, but I just thought it would be kind of interesting to find an eye with tears, and I found this face with one eye and tears. So that's what kind of drove me to it.
Okay, all right. Now this seems to have a very kind of elongated format to it.
It is, yes, it is.
Okay, is there a reason for that?
That's just the way the original was, the drawing was. So
okay,
I just follow. I mean, the picture was. I just kind of follow along with the picture.
Okay. What size is this?
Let's see. That is golly. It is golly. What is that? That's like maybe 18 by 8.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's a strip out of like an 18 by 24 pad or something like that.
Yes. Right.
Okay. And is this on newsprint or what's it actually drawn?
No,
on?
actually, this is done on watercolor. It's cold press. Hot press watercolor paper.
Okay, so it's got a fairly smooth finish on it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically, you could take a piece of cotton and rub across it, and the cotton comes apart. I mean, that's pretty toothy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but for a watercolor paper, it's.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, because you can get real bumpy and rough with watercolor paper. So it's kind
Right.
of like what we would call a Bristol board or a museum board. You know, it's fairly smooth, but it's got a lot of tooth to it. So if you're drawing on it,
Correct.
it'll take like
Correct.
pastels and charcoal and stuff like that pretty well. Okay. All right. In looking at your drawing now, and then keeping in mind what we talked about this morning, is there anything that you would do differently to this?
Yeah, from the nose line, I guess you'd call it. I think I would try to develop the part between the bridge of the nose and the cheek more. It seems a little bit too light
Right.
for that. Yeah, right in that area. Yeah, right. One thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty pleased with the eye and under the eye. I didn't put a line there. I had a line there, I think, originally, and then what was it, last week or something? You suggested that we not show the line quite as much on the
Right.
underside of the eyelid, or the eyebrow. Yeah, the eyelid.
Yeah, the eyelid.
Yeah. So I took that away, and I might enhance where the eyelashes would be underneath the eye too a little bit. I think that would probably help to do that. But other than that, the lips. The lips need a lot of work. They're too flat looking right now. So I need to develop the darks and the lights and the shadows, the values
Right.
of those areas.
You think those lips look flat?
Yeah, I do.
Well, a little bit.
I'm looking at the original right in front of me. So
Yeah, they're a little bit. I mean, he could use a little wider range of value in there, and that
Mhm.
might, give you a little more contrast and make it feel a little bit rounder and fuller. But can I make a suggestion to you?
absolutely.
Okay, and I think I kind of mentioned this the other day when you sent this in at first, but okay, for just a moment, okay, forget that this is actually an eye, okay? And if you
Okay.
will, start thinking of it more like a ball, okay? And the ball is right in here. See, it goes under the eyelids, right?
Right.
So if this were a ball and we applied to it what we saw this morning, okay, then what might actually happen at this point is, and the thing is, the lighting is very similar to what he was demonstrating this morning, because the light is coming in, so, not as, it's not directly from the left side, okay? It's slightly up and coming in, right? And
Right.
if it's going across that ball right there, then what's going to happen is that somewhere on that form, like this area right in here on the upper eyelid, might be a little bit lighter, right? And then there might actually be a little more tone, underneath, the lower eyelid here.
Okay.
And that would help actually create a rounder form in that area and
Okay.
make that eye feel like it's actually curved. It's a curved surface instead of kind of a flat surface, right?
Right.
That darkening won't make her look like she has a bag under her eye.
Well, I said a little bit of a value or tone in here, okay? I didn't say how dark. It doesn't have to be a dark value, okay? It could, I guess if I would probably say like maybe a number 3, number 4 value in here, just in that shape right in here.
Okay.
And then up in here where you've got maybe a number 5 or 6 right now, maybe that can be about a number 2 or a 3 as well, because, a fair amount of light probably would be hitting that upper eyelid. Not way over here, but just right up here, just before it gets to the top. See? And again,
Right.
it's going to help give you that illusion of this is a rounded form. Okay. You know, I agree about maybe darkening and thickening up the underline of this upper eyelid where the eyelashes are. That
Right.
probably give it a little more weight and actually push, you know, the actual white and pupil of the eye back, you know, underneath it a little bit more.
Right.
So, you
Yeah,
know,
the upper eyelids needs to shade the iris and the actual eyeball more. It's not shading it enough, I don't think.
yeah. I think the white of the eye is fine. You know, you've got a little grayer tone over here. And in fact, you've got maybe a little bit of a highlight, you know, catching over here at the corner of the eye. I think that's okay, you know, because you've got the light hitting this side of it. You know, the iris itself and the pupil, yeah, you've got a highlight, which tells everybody where the light's coming from, see, which is the thing that tells us that the light is up here somewhere.
Right.
Hitting that area right there. It could be a little darker up under this eyelid, you know, just on the iris. And you could have a little more, well, I think if you darken up here, you wouldn't have to lighten this any. You know, I think it's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Charles, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Robert, what type of tool did you use to make the highlight and the light parts in this eye?
Well, what I did is I used two things. I used what's called a mono zero eraser, which is a real tiny little, I mean, it gives you you can put a real fine point on it, and it will get it out. And plus I used the kneaded eraser as well. And then I added the touch of white pastel also.
All right, is that a pencil or is that a crayon? What is white pastel?
It's a soft pastel, and it's just in white, basically.
And it's a pencil or
No. Well, I think you can get pastel pencils in white, but I used it looks like a little block. Mine was, I used a corner little block of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you get,
What's bothering me is you see the lips are extended more to the left and the nose just goes like a sharp straight down. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the nose, at least as far as, you know, above the left part of the lip, so that, I don't know, it just goes, it looks like somebody took a knife and sliced it. I'd like to see a little bit on the left part of the nose in there. The light going straight up, I'm looking more at that than at the actually at the eye with the tears.
mm-hmm. You're saying right in here.
I go to that light straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like
I mean,
to see nose down closer to the lips and a little bit, a little bit more, you know, filled out like the lips are on that left side.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you could. You know, it depends. You know, if he works on the lips a lot more, then he'll probably have to do something here to the bottom of the nose to bring it all the way over. But right now, it just feels like it's in a lot of light. And, you know, I agree with you in the fact that if it were in the light that he's trying to suggest, the underside of the nose might have a little more value in here.
Yes.
And not be
Something
quite
to stop it from going straight down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, yeah, that's something that he could,
That's
you know,
really
look
picky, I know, but it is
Well,
bothering me.
yeah, but it, you know, hey, this is all about being picky.
All it is
Go for it.
It's okay to be picky here, you know. It's like, you know, well, I mean, you know, because everybody can learn, you know, something. So yeah, don't be afraid to offer, you know, what you see or your opinion. That doesn't mean that Bob's got to go do it. You know, he may take it, he may not. You know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
you know,
his problem.
right. Yeah,
Bob, is the photo reference in black and white?
Yes,
is it? Okay.
yes.
Yeah, so that's a help, you know. At any rate, you know, if your focal point is the eye, then I definitely look at those values really carefully, you know, and make a decision about, you know, where the light and the shadow are, and how you're going to make that feel rounder, okay, and more dimensional. Okay.
And the other thing too is the underside of the bottom lip.
Mhm.
I've got to work on that as well, because it's there's a shadow there, but it looks just like a dark mark right now.
Yeah, you haven't blended much, or, you know, it's
No.
yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of harsh right now.
Yes.
And the thing is, this looks like a very young woman. And the thing is, you know, you want to do everything you can to keep things soft on her, except for, you know, just a couple of, you know, sharper lines. And since you're focused really in around the eye, those sharper lines should be, you know, up here, you know, in the eye itself. And then maybe just, you know, you've already got the nostril fairly sharp. I wouldn't do anything to that. I wouldn't do anything to the outside line here. You know, that's enough. If you're going to work on the lips, about the only sharp edge that you're going to get in the lips is probably toward the corners of the mouth, or maybe this line dividing the upper and the lower lip. But as you get up here, unless she's wearing like really, really distinctive lipstick, that line is going to have to be softer up here.
Okay.
You know, because otherwise it's going to flatten the shape, the form of that lip out, and
Okay.
not what you want to do. You want to curve it. Okay.
Yeah, I said I didn't know. I knew that, but I didn't know how to fix it. So thank you.
Okay.
Does she need a little more chin?
Yeah, she
No,
can
that's-
use a little more, or just make it softer. You know,
Okay.
He
So.
reminds me of Princess Margaret from England. And
what
her-
about? What
It
about?
reminds me of the picture of Princess Margaret from England.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what Margaret looks like, so
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Almost exactly like that.
really, okay.
I think she's dead.
Margaret? I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
No,
I don't
she's-
keep up with those folks. So, you know, they get in the news enough on their own for whatever reason. So, okay. Did Bernice ever make it here? Yes. Or yeah. Okay, Bernice.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
All right, so I got a couple things I'm going to show here for you, and you can tell me whether you've done anything more to them, or what you're going to do to them, or, you know, we'll talk about them one at a time. So I know you did this, you submitted this not this week, but last week, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't remember, did we talk about that together?
A little bit, because I was just showing some background pictures of how I kind of got the idea of proportion for the people that I was trying to draw.
Right, okay, all right. So we won't talk about this one too much, but yeah. So the basic
Now,
idea here.
I did send something today, but I sent it late, so I'm sure
Oh.
you didn't get it.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Mhm.
Okay, so you sent this, like I said, about a week ago or so. You sent this. Now this, have you done any more with this idea about your mom? And
No,
haven't done anything.
no, I have not.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. I'm curious to see what you're going to do with that. And then you sent in this piece, and I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit more. Okay. Because we watched, you know, the video this morning. They were talking about, you know, creating, you know, tones,
Lights and
And-
shadows.
right, lights and shadows and things like that. Okay. And here's a challenge I would like to give you. Okay. Now, I don't
Okay.
want you to necessarily worry about all the things in the background. Okay. But what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to look at this reference very carefully, okay? And you'll notice where the light is coming from, right? And where do you think this is coming from?
It's on his arm that's extending out to the left, so it must be coming kind of top left, I think. I think the light is coming kind of top left because it's on the top of his arm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I know you're seeing this outline here on the arm, but notice that the outline goes all the way around him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so instead of coming from the upper left, I'm kind of thinking it's really just behind him, almost straight behind him.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
actually,
I see
if you can see where my cursor is, it's probably up there somewhere like this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the whole, he's getting kind of like this backlit, you know, sort of feel to him. Like, you know, the light is really, you know, behind him. And if you were standing on the other side of him, his whole back and this whole, the side of the arm that you can't see and this leg right here on the outside would all be lit up. See, because the light is back there and, you know, hitting him. So that really puts all or most of what we see on his figure in some degree of shadow. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that it's like really, really deep shadow, like here under his chest and rib cage, right? It gets pretty dark in there, doesn't it? Here on this arm, you'll notice, see, it gets pretty dark in there. Now I think he's helped it by, I think he's got a tattoo. But notice, see where the light is? Let me blow this up a little bit. So you see where the light is here? Okay, so really the highlight is right up here, you know, at the very top of his shoulder. And then as it moves down and around this muscle, which is called the deltoid, right? It's that upper muscle in your arm, which makes kind of a round ball shape. You know, and it does. It looks like a ball right there, doesn't it? It looks almost like the drawing that Carl Nass did this morning, just sort of reversed, right? But you see it's coming from behind. So you get, if you squint your eye down, you can see that right along here, it really does look, you know, like it's really dark, like right here where the shadow and the light meet. And then as it moves around, you see how this area in here gets lighter?
Yeah.
Right. See, that's that reflected light, you know, off of whatever, you know, it could be off, probably not off of his chest, but, you know, off of the ground or whatever around him. See, it's being reflected back up into that. And see, that helps it make it look like a round form, right? So just looking at areas of this and figuring out what those shapes are, okay? And how.
Because now that you showed me, I even see on the left nipple how the light is coming through there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, along here, along the edge of the
I don't know how I missed all that.
You know, you just need to take a little bit of time and, you know, really look at this stuff, okay? And see, this is one of the problems that we all have, you know, as an artist developing our work, is we get excited, right? We get excited and we want to get busy, right? And we start getting busy and we start drawing what we think we know instead of really looking, you know, very carefully and figuring out, you know, what we're really seeing there. See?
Charles,
Yeah.
I wish I had a quarter for every time I've heard you say that.
Yeah.
He's very wealthy.
Well, I wish I had a quarter for every time I had to say it. I would be. I would make some good money. But, you know, I mean, this is not an uncommon thing for all of us, you know, and I even catch myself doing it sometimes, you know, and kind of stopping myself and going, wait, what are you doing here? Slow down. But the challenge is, okay, take some time, really look at your photographic reference, and then go back and not on this drawing, but just on a, you know, just on a piece of white, you know, like bond paper or whatever with a pencil, or even a colored pencil, but just do it in a monochromatic. Don't try to mess with color right now.
Okay.
Try to redraw him and try to really figure out, you know, where you're going to place the light on him and where the shadow is, and get a change of value, you know, across his form, and try to make him look more dimensional. Okay?
Okay.
Charles, I
Thank
have
you.
one question.
I will do it.
Okay. All right. Yes, Jackie.
The picture that you showed, the reference,
Yeah.
when the gentleman explained this morning how the light hit a subject and it bounces back.
Uh-huh.
Can you show me on the photograph where the light came in?
Right.
And
You right
hit,
here on his back.
yeah.
That's right there. That's reflected light. And where that reflected light is coming from is, you see his arm is back, right? So the light is hitting the other side of his arm, and it's being reflected back into his rib cage right there.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why it's lighter.
Yeah.
And
And
up
the
here on
same
his,
thing right here at the knee. You see how this leg right here is a little bit lighter?
Mhm.
Well, again, that's because light is hitting the other side of that leg, and that light's being reflected back in there. And the same thing, look at the underside of the arm. See, that's not direct light. The light is hitting the top of the arm directly. But this is all reflected light, you know, off of the surface or his leg or, you know, whatever. The light is hitting his body or something around him and reflecting back up, you know, in the underside of the arm.
right.
Okay, so those are reflected lights, you know, and these are direct lights. See, that's with the light directly hitting that surface. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
That was a good lesson this morning.
It was excellent.
Yep. Yeah, it was. It was very good. So anyway, that's your, you know, that should give you something to think about for the next day or two. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then I think, and I wasn't sure, is this what you sent me?
Where is it?
Well, it's up on the screen.
Yeah.
Is this
I was trying to, well, what I did really, I kind of copied what the lines of the Capitol building would be. And I thought if I got the basic, that I could put the stuff on top of it.
Oh, okay. Well, the answer is, okay, you basically got a layout for a perspective drawing of a building. I didn't know which
Right.
building it was, but okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a building. And you said the Capitol building. Which Capitol are you talking about? You're
The
talking about
Capitol, Washington, D.C. The Capitol
okay.
building.
Yeah, the one that they tried to break into. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that one.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, that's a view, yeah, of it. You know, I remember, yeah, that as well. Okay, yeah, so you're finding the basic structure of it. Now, one thing I do have to mention to you, if this is your top line of the building, right here,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
then more than likely, okay, you've got this piece, and you see it ends at the same height, right? Now,
Right.
I'm not sure about this part. You know, go back and really look at it. And does it really come below that line, or does it sit on
You
top?
see, the triangle part I did wrong. It was supposed to go. It was supposed to go to the first line. I put it to the second line.
Okay.
You see the triangle that's on the top.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I got to correct that part.
Yeah. Well, you got to correct that part. And then if this is structured that way, then more than likely this is going to be the same, which means that this actually ends up here,
Oh, okay.
smaller,
Mhm.
right? because it's all got to meet the top of the building.
Okay. Okay.
So look at that real carefully. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, another thing too. I was trying to draw it in white. You put my lines in white because I thought I could see it better. I didn't know crayon was so greasy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah.
can be. Well, because depending on what you're using, if you use an actual crayon or even a Prismacolor pencil, you know, they what it is basically pigment suspended in a wax, right?
Oh.
Now, if you're putting other color pencils on top of it or other crayons on top of it, then it's fine. But if you're trying to draw back over that, yeah, once you've got that wax on the paper, good luck.
Okay, I can't get it off now.
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll cover it all in gesso and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then just paint over it, you know.
Okay. All right. I just got a chat here from Linda. Okay. And it says, I can't attend the morning session. Please send me the link to watch. As many commented that it was good. This is Linda, and then her email address. And Linda,
That's me.
yeah, I'm going to be
Yes.
sending out an email with a link to that actual video this morning.
Thank you.
Now the thing is, you're going to miss, you know, a lot of the comments that we talked about, you know, during the video, and
Oh, I see.
and that will be up probably in about the next 2 weeks on YouTube if you want to watch it with the comments.
Okay.
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 Yeah. So in fact, I've been watching a whole bunch of our past classes, and we had some good classes. So, you know, there were some good questions, and you know, we covered a lot of ground. So,
Charles, would you explain how that works about these classes going on to YouTube, please?
how it works? What is it?
I mean,
Your specific class, how do you find it on the?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you go to YouTube and you put in Department of Senior Services art classes for Fulton County, a whole bunch, probably close to 150 to 200 videos will come up.
Wow.
And then you can kind of sort through them by date, or, you know, and find the ones that you want, and
Okay.
either email the link to yourself or watch them right there, or whatever you want to do. But
Okay.
yeah, all the classes that we've had, well, up until at least the end of last year, are now all up on YouTube, every one of them.
That's terrific.
And
Okay.
we're beginning to get the 2021 classes, you know, uploaded as well. And there's some good stuff on there.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you want to go back and check it out, I mean, that would be great. Okay.
Thank you.
Since we're down here, Susan Adair, are you around? She said she may or may not make it because tomorrow is Passover. Oh, there she is. I see her. Let's unmute her. Talk to me, Susan. I don't know. It keeps going. I keep hitting unmute and it keeps going back. Can you unmute yourself?
I just did. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. All right. Happy Friday. Here we are. Okay. All right. So you did this drawing of a hat. I would call it a bonnet, you know. I don't know. What kind of hat would it be?
Oh, it probably is a bonnet. I just saw it on the internet, so I went ahead and drew it. And there is no face. It was on like a wig holder or a stand for a hat or something. It was
Okay.
so. I mean, it looked kind of like the shape of a face, but it's not really a face.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so-
Well, yeah.
and it was-
If you were going to draw a face, the face would kind of be right in here. Right.
Right.
Okay. And so a couple of comments. Okay. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to make any comments right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, okay, when did you draw this?
Last night.
Okay. And you were here this morning, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so we were talking about, you know, creating different values, right, to help turn the form. So
Right.
what might you do differently?
Well, I mean, it didn't have a whole lot of shadow, shadows on the picture. So I couldn't tell, where the shadows were. The only part was over where the face would have been on the, and I'm looking at it on the left side.
Right.
That was whiter, and then it got darker as you went over toward the right. But there's like one space there that I didn't put anything in because it was just very, very light. But other than that, there wasn't any place really where it was shaded at all.
Okay. So the parts that you're talking about being light, are you talking about it being light on the hat, or are you talking about it being like where the face?
No, on the supposed facial part.
Oh, okay.
Where it's just right next to the hat, and coming down like a face.
Right.
On the left side, there's like a space there that doesn't have anything.
Okay.
Where I left blank because it
Yeah.
was.
So the light, we would sort of guess, all right, was coming from the left, and striking the head of the hat itself on the side that we really couldn't see on the other side of it, right?
Right.
Okay. So.
But the hat was the same color throughout. It wasn't shaded or anything. It's just.
Okay. So.
And I did pencil, color pencil. So.
Yeah. So in looking at the hat, though, could you tell whether the underside, of the brim right here that you can see, could that possibly have been darker than, say, up here, the upper part of the hat?
It was all pretty dark. It was all just a black color, but I couldn't get the pencil to be even with the colors that well. So I don't have I tried sharpening it and I couldn't get it sharp enough where I wasn't hitting some of the wood part of the pencil when I was drawing it. So it was, if I'm making sense. But.
Yeah, and this was a color pencil, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there were two color pencils. One was gray and one was black, but.
Okay, all right. So I have a bit of a suggestion for you here, okay? Now.
Okay.
You see how all of your lines seem to be going back and forth, kind of running, let's call it horizontally, okay? Even though it's not perfectly horizontal, but it's kind of in a straight line, right? Okay.
Right.
And what I heard you say was you couldn't get a nice even value or transition of value on it, right? And one of the things that might be working against you is as you're laying the pencil down, right? You might work, in this direction, at the first pass, but the next time you come back over to build it up, make it a little darker or a little more even, change the angle of your pencil just a little bit, like by 5 degrees, okay? And work back across it, right? And then if you go back over it again, change it to another angle, just slightly off of your original by 5 degrees, maybe the other direction. So you see, each passage you make, you're changing the angle, so you're not going back over the same line in the same direction again. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and what you might try doing is rather than, trying to draw something, just get your color pencil out and try to make, values, right? And try to lay in nice, even blocks of value, that don't look streaky. Now, another thing you might try is if you don't want those lines, moving around the shape or the form, then build your pencil up in kind of a circular motion. Okay, just around.
Okay.
See, and again, just keep working back into the area. Keep moving. As you do that, you should be able to build up the tone, and you don't have to press hard with it. Okay, just kind of a nice even pressure on it, and keep it kind of consistent, and just move in a circular motion, and you should be able to lay a pretty flat, even value. And the nice thing about moving in a circle is, let's say that you wanted to change the value from the edge of the hat here to here, right? Well, if you move in kind of a circular motion, so you could kind of fill in the whole area, and then you could come back in and maybe work a little more here and build up the value, make it a little darker, and then do the same thing anywhere else that you needed to, creating this gradation, from lighter values to darker values,
Okay.
through that. So, again, just try it on like some little rectangular shapes or something, just to practice with it and see what you can do to get kind of a more pleasing, even distribution of the media, and get a kind of a surface that you like. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It's always worthwhile practicing. So, okay. Let's see. While we're here, we got Rebecca, and Rebecca sent in a wasp nest. Rebecca, you're here?
I'm here.
Okay. So what's the deal with the wasp nest?
All right, it was the honeycomb pattern. It was very interesting, and I tried to draw that. And then the thing above that is a tea towel that had a very pretty motif print. Now, I sent you a second attempt at the picture of the picture this morning.
Yeah, you sent me
because that was, yeah. Did you get it?
Well, you sent me.
Oh, there it is. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I'm still not satisfied with the quality of the print out of the little, what do you call them? The little decibels? No, that's not right.
Thumbnail?
No, the pixels. The quality of the pixels. Word.
Yeah. It seems like a really low resolution shot. It's not a very good one.
Okay, so I was using my cell phone to take that picture, and what could I have done to make the resolution more sharp?
Well, I don't know. You should have a setting in there on your phone. Now you probably took it on your phone, and then when you either emailed it or downloaded it, you downloaded a low resolution version of it.
Oh, okay.
My guess is that the phone, what kind of phone do you have?
It's an iPhone 7.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then definitely the actual photo on the phone itself is a much higher resolution than this. I can guarantee you.
Okay.
So when you email it to yourself, if it asks you, what size file do you want to send, then just say actual size. Okay.
Yes, I try to send it either actual size or small.
Yeah, don't send it small, because this is what you get when you send it small. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
By the meeting.
Yeah, but yeah, send it actual size, and that way you'll get better resolution on it. Okay. Now I'm not going to leave you alone yet. Okay, because you sent in this drawing again, kind of a small image, and this is a drawing of your hand.
Correct.
And I can tell it's your hand because it says my hand. Okay. Okay. But let me, okay. So let me make a comment about this, okay?
Okay. Can I just mention one thing?
Sure.
Well, can you lift it up a little bit so we can see the top of it? I can't see the top of the screen. All I see is, yeah, keep going.
That's about as far as I can go.
Okay.
Okay.
Dot.
So can you see the whole hand now, Susan?
No,
No,
I can see the whole palm of the hand, the palm area, but I can't see any fingers.
you can't see the fingers?
No.
I see the fingers.
I see
Yeah.
the fingers.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm changing it on my, okay, now it's better. Okay, I didn't realize I needed to change it on my.
Okay,
Thank you.
Susan, it's just technology. I mean, you know,
Right,
we all have to deal with it.
okay.
Yeah, believe me, you know, we've all been there. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, Rebecca, my comment is this. Okay, you're trying to draw too much.
Okay.
Okay.
Boy, is that a release? Draw less.
Yes, yes, simplify. Well, because okay, here's the thing. You see, you're trying to put all these little lines and things in, you know, on your knuckles and everything else.
Right.
And you know, I'm guessing, just looking at the drawing, that this is probably not more than probably 10 inches. You know.
Yes, that's
in
9 by 12 sheet of paper.
Yeah. Okay. So the fact is, you know, you're trying to get a lot of detail in there, and you know, you're putting those sort of darker like lines in there, which to show all the different textures and things around your knuckles. But what you're not putting,
The tendons and the veins.
yeah. But what you're not putting is you're not putting the form in there. You know, where the light and the shadow are on your.
Okay.
You
All right.
you kind of started to here along the edge of the hand, but
Uh-huh.
you know, but you're not quite there yet. And
Okay.
the thing about, you know, drawing your hand is, you know, the more wrinkles you put in there, it makes your hand look kind of old, right?
I'm sorry, it is.
Well, it's, you know, I don't think you're, you know, quite that wrinkly. So think about, you know, like the value of your outline. You've darkened these a bit, but you could push them a little further, and then try to get some value, you know, change around the form of the fingers, around the form of the hand, because it's not all one value.
Right. Well, I'm drawing what I see, Charles, and I do see a ton of tendons, veins, wrinkles, and freckles.
Mhm.
And so you're
But-
asking me to look at dark and light more than wrinkle detail. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Work
If you
more
have
on.
a lamp to go above it so you can have the brightest light and the darkest dark, it would be easier.
Mhm. Yeah. But see, again, think more about the shape, proportion, and the forms than all the details.
Okay.
You know, after you get really good at getting down the shape, the proportions, and the forms, then if you want to add a little detail to it, go for it.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm trying to get you to understand, you know, a way of drawing this and making it look like it's three-dimensional, okay, and not flat. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. About the picture before, were you able to see the different views of that wasp? Yes.
Yeah, you
Okay.
got the three of them right here. Yeah,
Right.
again, it's hard to tell kind of what these are because A, it's very small, and B, it's very low resolution. So if you want to
Right.
send in a
Higher resolution.
higher resolution photo, the other thing is, again, we've talked about this, try to square this up in the frame. See how this feels like it's tipped forward?
It probably was a little bit.
Yeah, well, in relationship to where your camera was. So, I mean, you know, hang this up on the wall somewhere, you know, put in little tack or nail in the wall, just hang it up there, and then photograph it, but try to square your camera up to it, and that way it's not as distorted. Okay?
Okay. So I was thinking about doing that, and I was afraid that I was gonna tear up the whole book if I did it, but I will try that.
Oh,
Maybe I can take it up without tearing the book, but I'll figure out something.
well, okay. Do you have any push pins at home?
Excuse me?
Do you have any push pins at home?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so take 2 push pins and put at the bottom and set the bottom of the book on it, and then do the same at the top, only instead of setting them on top, put the pen right at the edge, not into the paper, but push it into the wall. It should be able to tack the book up there for, a few minutes until you can take a photo of it.
That's terrific. Thank you. That's a very good suggestion.
Okay, yeah, I've done that.
Okay. Thank you.
Experience there. All right. Olga. Is Olga here? I think this is Olga. Everybody look at this. I wasn't.
I like it.
Huh?
There's so much movement in that.
I know. Does anybody claim this?
I will.
You will? Okay. All right.
No.
But in reality, I mean, is somebody working on this? I mean, I got it. I think it's Olga. It's from, all it showed me was a phone number, 404-937, whatever it was. So I'm not really certain that it's Olga's, but I'm guessing it is, because this kind of looks like Olga's work, some of the things she's done in the past. And it's the same kind of theme, because she does these musical and circus type themes in her work. But she's not here, is she?
Really cool picture.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of really nice stuff going on in there. And so, all right. So we'll save this for Monday. June, are you here? Miss Wang?
Yes.
There
Yes.
we go. Okay. So June, everything that I just told Rebecca about photographing your work applies to you. Okay. So try to do a better job of squaring it up and not making it so
Okay.
in the camera.
Yeah. Just started. I have a lot of work to do for that one.
Yeah, but I wanted to come back to this because you showed it earlier this week.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about it because what you got here is you got a really nice start of a drawing, right? But a drawing in paint, you see. And you can see where you kind of laid in the arm and things, and you're working, really nice and kind of directly with the media. And now did you do a pencil drawing or anything on the canvas before you did this?
No.
No. See, so you see you're working directly and you're just drawing with the brush and the paint. And that's good, see? Because you just eliminated a whole step in the process for yourself. And, most people, when they start painting, they don't feel confident enough just to go in there with a brush and color and start laying it down like that. And so that's good that you're getting confident enough now that you can begin to figure out those shapes, and you know that you can move the paint around and modify it any way you want to. Okay? So that's a very good thing. So I wanted to compliment you on that. Okay. Now.
Thank you. I learn from you.
Yeah, but you see, she's got a really nice start here, and she's already got kind of a feel for the head being turned. The position of the arms. That somewhere in here, she's going to have her hands wrapped around that umbrella, and the pose is kind of a 3/4 pose. So the actual composition, position of the figure, everything else, it's all there. You just have to develop it further, get a little more paint down. But you've got a really nice start, and it's nice to see just kind of the loose brushwork right now, because you're just getting it down, kind of figuring out where things are. So anyway, good job on that.
Thank you.
Okay. And then John sent this watercolor in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a very nice watercolor. you know, and again, you know, it's interesting composition. He's got some elements in there that kind of make it look atmospheric. And the thing is, with the watercolor in this one, you can see where, you know, he did actually draw, right? His line work and stuff. So he's incorporated the drawing into the painting itself, right? Everybody see
Yes.
that? Yeah. And
I actually tried to
That's
get
from his imagination, or if it's from a picture.
well, I'm guessing it's from some photo reference because he also sent in
it's
his drawing.
it's a photograph.
Oh, I
Oh.
see that same horse, yeah.
Right. And you see, you know, again, it's this idea of, okay, you see something, it kind of inspires you. And then what do? Rather than launching right into doing a painting, take a little bit of time, you know, do a couple of drawings, do a couple of thumbnails, figure out the composition, figure out how you want to use it. You know, begin to get to know that image, you know, before you get to that point and try to actually have to deal with color and changes in value and hard and soft edges and all that stuff. See?
Did you get the second drawing of the head? I sent you a second drawing.
That one. Is it that one?
I sent it about one. I sent it about that one. It's got, you can see behind the ear in there, it's a little darker. The first one has a reflective from the flash.
Yeah. You're kind of losing the end of your nose here, and I think that's because of the camera. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And the flash.
Right. Yeah. On this one, you didn't. Well, you got the flash kind of.
It's over the first one, it's over the ear, and the second one, it's over the nose.
Yeah. So my suggestion is, you know, don't take it with a flash. Okay. And if you want to take a picture of this, I don't know, do you have a outdoor like porch or deck or something?
Yeah, I generally do it outside, but I did that today.
Okay. Yeah. You know, taking the picture without a flash, you know, generally works better. You know, because the graphite or, you know, material that you're using, even colored pencils, you know, if you're using a flash, you can't get a nice even, you know, saturation of the color.
It seems to be more with the graphite. The watercolor, it doesn't seem to affect it as much.
No, because it doesn't have a real shiny surface on it. But colored pencil or graphite will. Okay. But you know, you've done, you know, a very nice study of drawing, and then, you know, translating that, you know, to the final painting seems to be working out pretty well for you.
Thank you.
And I wanted to kind of mention to you the anatomy on this horse versus the one that you sent in, you know, it was this week, but earlier, you know, it is more solid. You know, it feels like things are kind of in the right place, and even the gesture of the horse, you know, feels more credible, I guess would be the word. Okay. Wanted to kind of pick on Jean for a few minutes. Jean had done this. We talked about it in the painting class, but I wanted to show it here for anybody who hadn't seen it. You know, again, you know, now this is this acrylic or is this watercolor, Jean?
No, it's watercolor.
Yeah, I thought you said it was watercolor.
It's a canvas that's glued to a white core board.
Okay. Now, I see some like darker outlines. Now, is that pencil or, you know, is that part of the watercolor?
Part of the watercolor. I did do the pencil lightly, but that's the watercolor on it.
Okay. All right. So, you know, the thing I would kind of point out here is, so she used the media and the brush, you know, as a drawing tool, you know, and she's definitely got some outlines and things in here, but they help reinforce that idea of the movement of the figure, right? And so this is coming together, really, really nicely. And we talked a little bit about, the value, the skin tones and where the light might be hitting, depending on where the light was coming from. And so, I don't know whether she's going to change that or not. She may.
I'm going to go over the middle of the back. I don't know what happened, right, but I learned something funny. I must have dropped some oil or something where that white spot like is. Because it should have been a little, it shouldn't have been that white there.
Yeah. I mean, if you can kind of get it down to kind of about this color and value across here, then that whole back would sort of feel like it's on the shadow side. And then that would leave the top of the shoulders and the face in the light. Okay.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Jackie was here earlier.
I'm here.
Okay. I've pulled a couple things, and you'd sent these in. I don't know that we ever really got around to talking about them, but you got a couple of drawings. You've got this piece. You've got this piece. This figure that you're working on, and this. Okay. And did we ever talk about these?
No.
Bases? Okay. Yeah, I think we came to them, but you weren't here. So now that you're here, we're going to talk about them. Okay. So
well, this, I think you told me to set up a live pot, a live.
Yeah, like a still life, an actual still life in front of you.
Right.
Okay. And did you do that?
Well, that's when I started working on the flowers, the pot with the flowers in it.
Oh, okay.
I used that pot.
Okay.
That vase, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because now, if I remember correctly, you were doing this in a class or something, right?
Right.
Yeah, but
from a picture, yeah.
Right, yeah, in a class, okay.
And I wanted to work on the shading. That's all I wanted to really, I'm trying to learn shading.
Right, yeah, and so
I learned more since then.
Yeah, and so, I mean, this is a perfect example of exactly what, the video this morning was about how to lay in, those change in values to begin to make these forms look like they're rounded, right?
Right.
Because right now, you just have an outline, and you really don't have a change of value anywhere across here until you get this pot overlapping it, see? And it might have a cast shadow, from this pot onto this one, but this has got to have its own range of values to make it look round in the first place. Same with this before you start really worrying about the cast shadows on the surfaces. So, if you did the vase of flowers, and so go back, if you still got that still life or the objects, again, rather than trying to paint them, because what you sent in was, I think, a painting of that, try to draw them. Try to draw them in graphite, and then try to see the change in value as it moves around the form. Okay. Now,
not of these, but my flower pot, right?
Right. Yeah, your flower pot. Yeah, and you don't have to put all the flowers and stuff in it. Just do the pot, just so you kind of understand how to get that to feel like it turns. Okay. That would be a good practice, kind of like study for you. Okay. Let's see, who else could we pick on here? You got a bunch of my stuff, and I'll talk about that at the end.
Can I ask something about the basic thing is, when you draw, use a graphite pencil or the charcoal pencil to do drawing. What kind of paper must you use? Do you have to use a charcoal paper for charcoal drawing, or
Well,
you can just use any paper?
Yeah, you can use like any old kind of bond paper out of the drawing pad. That's fine.
What do you mean by bond paper?
If you go to the art store and you buy a drawing pad, and it's that white, white paper, that's called bond paper. Okay? Now there's bond paper, there's newsprint, there's like Bristol board, there's different kinds of drawing papers. Some for charcoal, things like that. And even a lot of those charcoal papers are not white, they're gray or have some kind of tone to them. You could use any of those, okay? Now, if you're using a toned paper, other than just using charcoal, you might need a piece of white pastel or white chalk to put in your highlights or your lighter tones, right? Or values. So, if you want to just keep it simple, again, you could use a graphite pencil, even in a sketchbook, right? But my recommendation is you get some of these colored pencils, like the Prismacolor pencil, and get like a sepia color or a black or, like a dark gray, and draw with that in your sketchbook, because when you finish your drawing, you don't have to worry about it ending up on the other side of the paper because it won't transfer. It's permanent and it won't move. And that way it keeps your sketchbook nice and clean. And, 2 years from now, when you open it back up, your drawings haven't all mushed together. And see, that will happen if you draw in a sketchbook with charcoal, or if you draw on a sketchbook with even like graphite, like really soft graphite. You'll notice that you begin to see a ghosted image on the other side of the page, and that's because the graphite is transferring off onto that other side. So I always use like a Prismacolor pencil, or I'll use a ballpoint pen to draw with, because again, I can do that pretty confidently, and I know it's not going to end up on the other side of the page. So,
Charles, I don't do much drawing, but I've noticed just the different papers. Like this last one of the horse, that was on a watercolor paper that had more texture.
Right.
And I've done some on they call it mixed media, which is smoother. And you get different effects on how you use your pencils.
Right.
Based on the paper.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like the paper makes a huge difference, in how the media handles that you're using.
Yes.
Charcoal works really, really great on like newsprint, right? And newsprint is that kind of manila colored paper that's, that basically it's the same thing they print newspapers on. And it's kind of smooth. But the problem with that is that 10, 15 years from now, that you're not going to have that drawing, because that paper is just going to disintegrate, because it's not very good quality paper. But you can do beautiful drawings, and it's a great thing to have just to practice on. But to make a nice drawing, that's something that you want to keep. It's not going to last that long. Bond paper will last longer, and if it's in a sketchbook, it might last 40 or 50 years, pretty easily, or even longer, If you get a more expensive drawing pad or sketchbook with what they call archival drawing paper in it, then that might last, 400 or 500 years, right? Pretty easily. So, it's you can work on a variety of things, Linda, but it's all kind of what your goal is. If you're just practicing, you don't have to use an expensive piece of paper. If you're gonna put a lot of hours into a drawing, then use a little better piece of paper, okay?
No, the reason I asked was because when I stand there and look at all the paper, they have drawing paper, mixed media paper, charcoal paper, and your newsprint. But I didn't see this bond paper. So right now I'm doing some drawing with a graphite pencil and charcoal. So I'm just wondering, like, if I do charcoal drawing, do I need to use charcoal paper or mixed media? I don't want to use newsprint because you say that it won't last.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And
So
the mixed media paper is fine because it's the most flexible paper out there. You can draw on it. You can use water media on it. You could put oil paint on it, depending on the weight of it. But most mixed media papers are they're close to what you call a Bristol board. Okay. And so they're a little bit thicker. They're not as flexible, but they'll take a lot of media, like pastels. You can put all kinds of things on them, and it will be fine. You don't have to worry about it like buckling up and wrinkling on you. So that's by far the most flexible paper that you can buy out there right now in the market. Okay.
Okay.
Is your computer paper considered a bond paper? You're right, like it goes in your
Not-
those 8x10.
Yeah, they call it bond paper, but not really. Bond paper was used to type letters on it.
Yeah.
When there were typewriters around. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
that's what they used for, like typing things. You put bond paper in if you wanted to send a letter to a client or something like that. It was like a bond paper quality. But these days, most of the sketchbooks that you get, at like the art store, they have this white paper inside. That's bond paper. It's what they call a bond paper weight. Okay. And it's fairly smooth. You can draw on it. And you can use pen, brush pen, ink, all kinds of things on it. Graphite. You can put charcoal on it too. But if it's in a sketch pad, your graphite, your charcoal, you're going to have to put a fixative on. So again, it doesn't end up transferring, and your drawings don't get all mushed up after a while. Does that make any sense to you guys?
One more question. So when you do the charcoal drawing or graphite pencil drawing, charcoal, they have this so-called charcoal stick. So when I do the charcoal using charcoal pencil, and then I'm trying to use the charcoal stick on it, it seems to lift out some of the charcoal pencil drawing on the background. So does it mean that the quality of the charcoal stick is no good, or is it the paper is no good? Because those paper I used was just for ordinary paper. I don't know what paper is it, just for sketching or drawing, not the newsprint, just the paper for drawing.
Yeah. Well, the problem that you may be having is that you're reversing the order of your tools.
Oh.
Because that charcoal stick is probably what you would call vine charcoal. And vine charcoal is very soft. It's really, you can use it for drawing and paintings and all, most painters traditionally would start off with vine charcoal. And they would kind of lay in, their basic lines with vine charcoal. And then they would start working, with a paintbrush and, doing the, kind of an intermediate drawing over the charcoal, because the charcoal will dissolve and it will just flake off very easily. Okay. Vine charcoal doesn't stick to anything very well. So it's really just used as a preliminary, just to kind of find where things are, get your basic shapes. And, you might put a basic tone in, but then when you start working with your charcoal pencils, which are a little bit harder, and or your blocks of compressed charcoal, or what they call nitrate charcoal, then those are a little harder, and the charcoal is a little more dense, so it will build up on the surface a little faster. It sounds like what you're doing is you're putting down that nitrate charcoal first, and then you're trying to draw over it with the fine charcoal, and it's lifting up, some of the darker charcoal that you've already put down. So try it just the opposite. Start off with the other, and then work over that with the other charcoal, and see how that
Okay.
works for you. Okay.
Thank you.
The other
I have
thing
a
you might try to do is if you put down the vine charcoal and you got something that you like, and then take a little bit of spray fixative. And again, my solution to spray fixative is rather than going out and spending $8 to $10, $12 a can for spray fixative, is just get some really, really cheap hairspray like Aquanet. It smells better, you know. It only costs like $1 a can, and it does just as good a job. And just kind of spray it lightly, not, you know, don't saturate it. Just spray it lightly, let it dry, and then go back in and work, you know, with your next layer of charcoal over it and build it up. Okay.
What's the one that you just mentioned? What, $1 or two, whatever, fugitive?
Yeah, any kind of
Huh?
cheap hairspray like Aquanet. You know,
Yes.
How do you spell that?
AQUA, and then NET.
Okay.
AQUA, Aquanet. Okay.
Aquanet, AQA. NET.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. But any kind of cheap hairspray will work. Okay. And you can actually get. In fact, I bought Aquanet in Kroger about a couple of months ago. Okay. And it was like a $1 or something. You know, it wasn't very much.
Just bought it Publix for $1.19.
Yeah, it doesn't cost hardly anything. And you know, I always keep a couple of cans of that around the studio. You know, it works as a good temporary fixative, you know, when you're building up drawings and stuff. So, all right.
I have a question.
Okay.
The boy that you showed after this picture,
the boy,
he had his hand in his chin in his hand. I wanted to know about that. Ask you about that one that I had drawn.
The boy.
It was a boy with his chin in his hand.
Oh, okay, yeah, right here.
Yeah, it was that one too, but it was another one right there. Oh, I didn't shade him.
That one, yeah.
I was practicing drawing, so I'll shade him and then I'll send it back to you to see how it.
Yeah.
Well, I shaded it.
Okay.
But I was trying to learn how to draw him.
Okay. So let me make a comment about this. Okay. Now, I'm sitting here looking at your drawing, Jacqueline, and I'm looking at the paper. Okay. And when I'm looking at this paper, this seems like a pretty good heavyweight paper, kind of like a Bristol board, watercolor board, something, you know, or watercolor paper. What is this actually on? You know?
I think he's in. I bought these books. I think he's in my acrylic book. I think it's acrylic paper. Oh, wait a minute. Is he in here? Yeah, it's the watercolor paper, evidently. It's the other book.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and see, here's the thing. You know, you could get like watercolor paper. Watercolor paper generally.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, is what you would consider archival, right? Because the only way that they can make watercolor paper so that it doesn't buckle and wrinkle and, you know, twist and turn when it gets wet is by having a lot of what we call rag content in the paper, which means that it's actually got cotton fiber in the paper. It's not all wood. And so it will take a lot of water and you can get it wet and it will still stay relatively flat. Okay. And so, you know, this kind of paper, you do a drawing on it and the drawing's going to be around for a long time. The paper is going to last. Okay. It's pretty good quality paper. So that's what I wanted to point out about it. But as far as, you know, the drawing of it, you know, you've got a good sense of the initial, you know, shape, you know, and the placement of things. You know, the thing is, you now, you know, what I would do is I'd take a paper towel, a clean paper towel, and just gently, that's the key word here, gently, I would rub over this drawing, okay? And I would fade that back. And then what I would do is I'd take my graphite pencil or whatever you're drawing with, and I would go back and I would redraw it. I put my final line work in, right? Because now I know where everything is. So now I can go back in and I can put, you know, the different kinds of lines in for the final drawing. And then if I want to add values and things to it, I can do that as well.
Okay, I think I used a 2B pencil.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, so it's not like real soft, but fairly soft. And again, if you take a paper towel and you just kind of go over it lightly, you know, what you'll do is you'll get a little bit of tone on the paper, which is fine. And then you can take your kneaded eraser, you can pull out your highlights, right? And then you can add, you know, pencil to it, you know, to make your like shadows, and then put in your outlines where you think you need them, okay? And then you'll have a pretty finished drawing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you see, it's a process. You build it up.
I'm going to say goodbye. I'll see y'all next week. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, have a good week.
All right. You too. Okay. So I want to show you a couple things before we go away here, but, you know, there's well, actually, I need to tell all of you about a couple things. One, I guess the library system is looking for artwork, okay, to put some artwork in the libraries. And so I'm going to send Ladisa and Sabrina some of the work that you guys have been doing, and also from some of the instructors at the different centers. But we also have the virtual art show, and I guess Sharita has gotten involved in that. And so I'm going to send her the things that I have. And I've got about 50 pieces of work from you guys that I'm going to send in, and each one will be labeled. I'm going to let her kind of sort through it and post it online. And when I get the information about where and when that's going to be, I'll share it with you. Okay? So you'll know about it.
Okay.
Are the libraries looking for the originals or just the prints?
I'm not sure. I'm not. I think. Yeah. I think they're looking for original pieces of work that they can put there. Okay. You know, and it's not permanent, but you know, it's for a period of time. You know, when I get more.
Which library?
Yeah.
Did
When
they
I get,
put a price tag on it?
I wouldn't see why not. You know, of course, if somebody wanted to buy the piece, they'd have to contact you directly because the county can't get involved in the sale. You know, same thing with like Evening of the Arts. You know? So, all right, somebody had a question?
The 15th, the artwork has to be in. Is that the art show for the center? I thought for all the centers, but it may be just for Darnell. The artwork has to be in by the 15th.
Yeah, I don't know.
April.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's
You don't know?
maybe that's something that Darnell is doing on their own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really don't know. You know, I just got an email from Sabrina, not Sabrina, actually Sharita, that she was trying to get the artwork together to post online. I've been working on that for a month now. You know, kind of redoing, you know, like cropping pieces and kind of cleaning them up a little bit. And then labeling them and getting them ready for this, you know, basically the same thing. So anyway, you know, I'll let her run with it. You know, I'll send her everything I've got. And when I find out where they're going to post it and when, I'll give you guys a link to it. Okay. So
you will sort of collate all the painting that's sent to you?
Yeah. Basically, I'm going to take everything that we've sent in for the last year, and anything that, you know, I can clean up and make look, you know, fairly finished. And I'm going to try to just take a variety of pieces from everybody and try to get like 2 or 3 pieces for each of you, and then I'll submit them to Sharita. And actually, you know, since I'm going to do that, I'll keep them in a folder, and maybe on like Monday or Wednesday of next week, I'll show you what those 50 pieces were that I sent her. Okay, so you'll be able to do the work. And some of it I'm going to actually take and distort in Photoshop, try to make it look square. Okay. Something I'd prefer not to have to do, but you know, hey, you know, you work with what you got, right? So.
And then you mentioned the library. Which library is now open that you can go in and view all this painting?
I'm not
I
sure.
thought most of the library are not open though.
Yeah, I know that, and that's why I'm not sure. I think that it came from the main library system, and that's all I know.
Oh, okay.
I just got the email today, and I don't have all the details. Okay.
Because I love to go to library, and I know that they're not open.
Yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Okay.
Mm.
Anyway, so we're going to wrap this up here in a few minutes, but I wanted to show you a couple things, because when I was talking about shows and things, I'm getting ready to submit work actually either tonight or tomorrow morning, because that's the deadline. We've got a drawing show coming up at the Atlanta Artist Center. And so I've been preparing and cleaning up some drawings to submit. And I can only submit 3, but I've got about 6 or 7 to show you. But I wanted to show you, I'll start with these. These are gesture drawings. And this is from last weekend. You know, had a live model, she was posing. And again, these are like, you know, these are 2-minute drawings, okay, each. So again, it's just trying to capture the movement, you know, and the proportion of the model, right? And these are just done in a little sketchbook on gray. It's a gray drawing paper. But I really like working on that because I can work with both that white Prismacolor pencil and kind of a sepia color, and you know, get a light and shadow effect with it. This is a piece, and you've seen this before. This is one of the pieces that I'm thinking about submitting to the show. And this is that water-soluble graphite, and it's done on like a piece of museum board or Bristol board. And you know, so it's got kind of a watercolory look to it. You know, but kind of like the effect of that, and it's got a little bit of white pastel. This is a drawing. It's a graphite drawing on a piece of like white drawing paper, bond paper, basically. It was kind of, you know, I like sort of the shape and the form of that. Yeah, this is a drawing that I did. This is on a, it's on a dark gray, kind of brownish gray piece of paper. And it was done in Conte, kind of a sepia color Conte with the white pastel.
I like it. Where'd you get that paper? And what kind of paper is it?
It's a drawing paper. It's kind of, I think it's like a Reeves VSK, but it's kind of this dark kind of, it's a kind of an odd, almost kind of an olive color brown. And it's a fairly dark value. Okay.
Oh.
And so it's not mid-tone, it's a little bit darker than that. And then I work back over it with the, you know, the brown Conte. This is, again, graphite, you know, on that same drawing paper as the previous drawing. Then this is a piece of actual mat board. And I worked with, I think it was Conte, and then white chalk. And the paper is actually this brownish color. And then went back over it with a marker, a black marker, like broad tip, to fill in the areas that are really dark, like, you know, her top and her hair. Probably put some marker in around like the mouth and the eyes, and then work back over it, you know, to bring out some different values. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, actually what this is that's that water-soluble graphite. And then I worked into it with water. That's how I got those grays in there. Okay.
How large of a piece is it?
Oh, this is probably about 24, about, you know, about 24 by 30. No, about 24, 30. You know, it's a fairly good sized piece.
That piece helps me to see too that if the paper is already dark, that you can use that dark for your shading or your values.
Right. See, that's why you work on toned paper. It already gives you an already existing value, and then you can work with a lighter medium like white chalk or pastel to put in lights and highlights. So you see, you can broaden out that value range, right?
Charles,
mhm.
where is the light coming in here? On her upper back, you know, the back here?
Yeah, it it basically, we had a spotlight on her, and we were also getting light from the window. And so the light coming in from the window was stronger. And so we got some pretty bright highlights on her on the backside, and then the actual lamp kind of filled in, you know, on a lot of the rest of the form. So you had really kind of multiple light sources there, not just a single light source.
And this show is just drawings?
This one I did at Benson, actually. You know, this is Talisa. She modeled for us. This was the long drawing. You know, so it was about a 40-minute long drawing. You know, because she took the pose, took a break, came back, took the pose again. So,
I have a question to ask you.
Sure.
First time I saw this, so the background is brown. So all you did was to sketch up the outline first, and the brown color is the original paper color. So the black and the white is what you have put it in for highlighting whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
See,
okay.
yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
Basically, the dark outline and the hair and everything else is it's what we call water-soluble graphite. So you draw it, and then you take a brush with a little bit of water, and you can begin to put in washes. So you take the graphite that's there and treat it almost like watercolor. You know, and same thing with the hair, you see. So it gets a very solid sort of feel to it, but you can get different values with it. So I really like that water-soluble graphite. We started working with it over at Benson, and it's a great medium because you can get effects like things are drawn, but you can also soften them as well. And depending on...
Well, you're talking about water-soluble, that horse head that we showed today, that's with water-soluble graphite.
Yeah.
But I didn't use any water because I was afraid to destroy the picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, and you can do that too. But the nice thing is with the water-soluble graphite, you know, you wet it, you get kind of the effect you want, let it dry, and you can always draw back into it.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's the thing I like about it is it's a real flexible medium. You know, you can do a lot with it.
Show us one day the container that it comes in, what it looks like.
It doesn't come in a container. It's just like a pencil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like any other pencil, but you get a brush with some water on it and it dissolves. Okay.
So similar to the watercolor
like
pencil.
Watercolor pencils. Yeah, similar. Yeah, but this is graphite. Okay. So here's
one more thing.
Well,
can I ask one more thing? What is called metallic pencil?
Well,
I saw it by.
Yeah, they like gold, silver. You know, they have kind of a metallic.
They got different color.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a similar thing like any ordinary pencil.
Yeah,
drawing?
Pretty much so. It's just that the lead in it has got a metallic.
I see. Okay.
You know, medium in it. Okay. So this is
Thank you.
yeah, this is the last drawing. And I just, I finished this week. So I like this drawing. I like the forced perspective and stuff in it. But anybody got any thoughts about this one?
That's nice. I like that one the best of all those ones you showed.
Same here. It's
I
very,
would submit that one for sure.
Yeah,
it's
I would.
very,
I like the girl with her back to you, and also the last piece you showed and your drawing of yourself. Those are 4 I like.
Okay, yeah.
What,
See,
what,
I got to narrow it
what-
down to 3.
what is
Well,
the
I
name?
can only go so far. That's what I remembered. I could have to stare at them another little while to figure out which out of all those 3 I preferred.
Charles,
Yeah.
Charles, what is that name above your name? Kind of slanted.
What is, okay. Yeah, okay. So it says C. Scoggins right here along the bucket. And then this is just my little shop. That's
Oh,
C. and
I meant the one that's written out. It didn't look like C. Scoggin. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's,
see it now.
yeah, that's my bad handwriting.
Oh, okay.
So,
This
Yeah.
Bob, I'd like to make a comment.
Uh-huh.
I sent the picture of grandfather and grandchild to this final owner,
Yeah.
and I got some very, very good responses
yeah, I
from,
saw
from
that
a lot
on
of people.
Facebook. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I think I left you a comment
you,
or maybe a like. Something.
yeah, you sent me a like, and
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it's a great piece. I'm glad that you got that out to them, and yeah, and you seem to be getting some good responses back. So, good work.
Where did he submit it to?
Well,
I gave it to my niece and her
But you
husband.
said you got
So-
some comments on it. You mean from family?
Yes,
yeah,
Oh.
family, but also he posted it in Facebook, and so a lot of people.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's getting feedback, on what he submitted. So, okay. Anyhow, that's all I got. It's 3:37. I think it's margarita time, guys.
yep.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Good weekend, everyone.
yeah, so basically, thank you all for coming, and, go have a margarita, a martini, whatever your preference is, right? Have a great weekend. It looks like it's going to be nice weather. See, the gray is blown away now. And, so we'll see you back here Monday, okay? And other than that, send me some work.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Okay.
All right,
thank you.
bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Veronica.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Veronica.
Thank you.